Dorit Kemsley made bold declaration amid ups and downs. A lot has changed for Dorit Kemsley's life in the last year. In May 2024, The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills cast member first confirmed her separation from Paul P.K. Kemsley, and within months of sharing the news, was making some rather revealing declarations about her new single life. In fact, she was boldly declaring who she was in the wake of their split in time for her 48th birthday. "It's a bad bitch's birthday," Dorit shared in the caption alongside the Instagram video, which she posted in July 2024. The Instagram post was shared with her followers a couple of months after she announced her separation from PK, who wished her a happy birthday in the comments at the time. Of course, there have been many developments in Dorit's life since then, especially in her relationship with PK. Where does Dorit Kemsley stand with Paul P.K. Kemsley today? In the 10 months since her 2024 birthday, Dorit has since filed for divorce from her estranged husband. Dorit filed for divorce from PK in April 2025, citing irreconcilable differences. As they navigate this new chapter in their separation, they remain committed to co-parenting their 2 kids, Jagger and Phoenix. Dorit Kemsley reveals a look inside her life and career today. Dorit has also been keeping busy in her career. She was featured Rollercoaster magazine's Spring/Summer 2025 issue. "Had so much fun shooting these looks with Rollercoaster," she wrote on Instagram in April 2025. "I cannot wait for you guys to read the full interview, coming soon." In the issue, Dorit was candid about her personal life and dating life before PK. "As much as I now wholeheartedly know, I was absolutely born to be a mother, and I'm so blessed, thank you God, for these 2 amazing children. I was not the girl that was desperate to get married or desperate to have children. I wasn't at all," she told the publication. "I just thought if it's meant to be, it will be." Dorit Kemsley discusses boyfriends. When speaking to the publication, Dorit also reflected on her past boyfriends, noting that she was engaged to 2 wonderful men before marrying PK. Dorit Kemsley offers an update on her relationship status with PK after RHOB Season 14. Dorit spoke to Briefing on Bravo in February, where she shed some light on how she wanted to speak her truth at the RHOB Season 14 reunion. "Well, the reunion is always the time to have a voice, and you see in the season what you didn't film. So there are some things that we'll cover at the reunion. But it's always a great place to have a voice and to clear up whatever you need to clear up," Dorit shared at the time in an exclusive interview. "And if there are things that you feel have been left unsaid, then that's the time." When speaking to Rollercoaster, Dorit also reflected on PK sending a statement into the RHOBH Season 14 reunion amid their split and her emotional reaction to it as she figures out their new dynamic. She said, "No matter what happens with PK and I, he's always been my best friend, my husband, we're family. I never believed that things could ever get to a place where our bond and the foundation would ever be broken to the extent that we could do things to hurt each other that crosses the line. I didn't want to go toe to toe." The bold rebirth of Dorit Kemsley. The sun was just beginning to peek through the gauzy curtains of Dorit Kemsley's Beverly Hills home when she poured herself a glass of green juice and stepped barefoot onto the patio. The air was warm, fragrant with blooming bougainvillea, and full of the kind of quiet that only came when her kids, Jagger and Phoenix, were still asleep. 10 months ago, Dorit wouldn't have imagined herself here, not physically, but emotionally. In May 2024, when she confirmed her separation from Paul P.K. Kemsley, her world split in 2. There was the before, a whirlwind of glamorous appearances, romantic trips, and an often too public life with PK. And then there was the after, a quiet void, echoing with uncertainty, reflection, and eventually reinvention. And she had chosen to fill that void not with noise, but with boldness. The announcement, The Instagram video she posted on her 48th birthday in July 2024 became a moment of pop culture canon. Dressed in a sleek, plunging metallic jumpsuit, blonde waves cascading down her shoulders, Dorit stood with confidence on the balcony of a Los Angeles high-rise. Behind her, the skyline glimmered. In front of her, the rest of her life. "It's a bad bitch's birthday," she had declared in the caption, a statement not just for the world, but for herself. PK had left a simple comment: "Happy birthday, doll, always love." It was gracious, kind, even, but it felt like the soft punctuation to a sentence that had long since ended. What came after goodbye? In the months following the post, Dorit had navigated uncharted emotional territory. The grief of separation wasn't straightforward. There were no screaming matches, no public betrayals. Just a growing distance, an unraveling. She had loved PK deeply, still did in many ways. But love, she realized, wasn't always enough. By April 2025, after nearly a year of walking the tightrope between reconciliation and resignation, Dorit filed for divorce. The words irreconcilable differences felt clinical cold, but they were the truth. "We were no longer growing together," she admitted in a private interview months later. "We were just growing apart." A new kind of spotlight. Though her personal life had been in flux, Dorit's professional life had taken on new momentum. By spring of 2025, she was featured on the cover of Rollercoaster magazine, her face bold and radiant in a black and white close-up. Inside, she bared more than skin. She revealed truths. "I was engaged twice before PK," she told the interviewer, legs crossed in a channel tweed mini dress. "Two wonderful men, and I broke off both engagements because deep down, I knew I wasn't ready." The interviewer asked if she regretted anything. "No, I never chased marriage or kids. I always felt if it was meant to happen, it would. And it did. I got to be a wife. I got to be a mother. And now I get to be me." It was an answer that resonated, especially with women who had followed her since Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Season 7. The perfectly coiffed fashionista with designer everything and a glamorous husband had morphed into someone more grounded, more complex. "I think I was born to be a mother," she added in the interview, "but I wasn't born to be someone's shadow." Reunion reflections. In February 2025, Dorit appeared on Briefing on Bravo, the digital special promoting the RHOB Season 14 reunion. The host asked the question everyone was waiting for: "What's really going on between you and PK?" Dorit sighed, looking momentarily away from the camera. Then, with trademark candor, she answered, "PK and we're family, no matter what happens. And I know that sounds cliché, but it's true. He's been my best friend. We've been through so much, the good, the bad, and the very public. But I also realized at some point I didn't want to go toe-to-toe with someone I once dreamed with. I didn't want to win. I wanted peace." She paused, composing herself. "At the reunion, you'll see more. But I just hope people understand that divorce doesn't mean war. It can mean transformation. It can mean two people choosing themselves and still choosing love for their kids." Backstage, behind the scenes. During the filming of the Season 14 reunion, an unexpected letter arrived. It was a statement from PK, not an apology, not a plea, just words. Dorit read it live, mascara-laced tears threatening to fall. It wasn't dramatic. It was quiet, full of shared memories, and the promise of civility. Later, in her dressing room, Dorit looked at herself in the mirror. The makeup team had just touched up her highlighter. Her hair was in soft curls. She looked every inch that RHOBH icon, but inside, she felt something else. Power. "I'm not the same woman who walked into this show," she told the producer quietly. "And that's a good thing. Moving on, not away." Despite the headlines, Dorit wasn't rushing into the arms of a new man. Dating, she admitted in her rollercoaster interview, was complicated. How do you go on a first date when millions of people know your history? She laughed. It's like showing up to dinner with 13 seasons of backstory. Still, she wasn't closed off. There were casual flings, a few quiet coffee dates, one sunset walk on Zuma Beach that lasted 3 hours longer than expected. But more than anything, she was dating herself. I've had to reintroduce myself to me, she said. What I like, what I want, what I deserve. That meant solo trips to Paris, art classes in Venice Beach, and therapy sessions she no longer postponed. It meant building her fashion consultancy into a standalone brand and designing a capsule collection for a major luxury retailer. Being single doesn't mean being alone, she said in one caption. It means being whole, again. The children know. Jagger was 10 now, Phoenix 8, both wise beyond their years and fiercely protected. When PK and I sat them down to talk about the divorce, we cried, Dorit confessed. But the kids? They were amazing. They asked, will we still have Friday pizza nights? And will Daddy still come to soccer games? And when we said yes, they hugged us and said, then we'll be okay. The family restructured but remained intact. Dorit and PK took turns picking up from school, attended every recital together, and even went on a co-parenting vacation to Disney World. We've built a new kind of love, Dorit said, and in many ways, that's harder and more beautiful than the one we had before. The bold declaration. April 2025 marked a full year since the separation began. Dorit walked into the courthouse with her lawyer, a calm sense of closure in her heart.